All right, folks, welcome back to another live workout Q&A coming at you from Japan. And let's make sure, yeah, this hotel actually has some good Wi-Fi, so looks like this will work out. But this workout was recorded, I believe, Monday, and I've been out of town since Tuesday in Japan right now, so I'm actually about to go hit the gym a little bit, do a push day. But just checking some things real quick to make sure sound's working good. Sweet, yep. So, the whole idea of this is to, basically just show you what I do. I've got all the lifts with weights and sets, reps, all that stuff in the description, so you can check that out and show my technique, see where I can improve on stuff, and just give you ideas for stuff to do, because I've pretty much been doing a similar type of workout for the last, gosh, how long has it been? 3 years. I've changed it up some with doing heavier lifts and other times where it's lighter, higher reps, but pretty much at this point I kind of mix them. So I start with squats. On a push day, start with bench. On leg day, I start with deadlifts. And I just work up slowly. I do 3 to 4 warm-up sets, depending on what I'm doing. So for squats, I'm doing 3 warm-up sets. I start with the bar here. I'm usually kind of stiff in my hips when I get started. And so I get on here and I'll slowly get deeper and deeper with the squat by the time I get to the heavy lifts. So here, try to get to about parallel, and as I'm getting warmed up, then I get a little bit lower, a little bit lower. And this is, excuse me, do the bar for 20 reps. So, and I don't just speed through them. Like, I try to think about form, stay upright, slowly get down, and push back up in good form, making sure my feet are flat as I push up. And I was having some hip pain in my left hip in this workout, but after all the warm-up sets, by the time I got to the heavy stuff, it was fine. I wasn't having any problem. Not like in the side of my hip, but kind of like on the inner part of it. But if y'all have any questions about anything too, about working out legs, training in general, food, diet, whatever, just post it in the comments and in the chat. So I'm here for, because I used to do this with literally being live, and it would end up taking like an hour and a half or more, because I'd sit down and talk about stuff this way and go over the lifts. I can critique it myself as well and answer your questions at the same time. And I'll just ramble on about stuff until someone asks a question. Right now it is 4 a.m. in Japan on Sunday morning. Back home, it's 2 p.m. So I did that first set, and I just built this platform about a week ago, right before I left for this trip. And let's see, it's basically I think I got 5/8 plywood on the bottom. And I've got that 3/4 inch piece of, I think it was birch wood. I was gonna get maple, but all they had in stock was birch, and it's another type of hardwood. And then rubber 3/4 inch horse stall mats for the sides, because slamming the deadlifts down on my garage floor, I felt like I was gonna break it. And just having the platform, it just feels more legit, like a real gym, and makes it more fun. It's not finished yet. As you see, I left those rubber weights on the ground, my bumper plates, and I put a jump rope across. And the reason I did that was because I tend to have my right foot like a little forward more than my left foot when I just stand normally. And so I put that across straight, so I make sure that my feet are lined up evenly when I'm watching myself in the mirror, to make sure I'm keeping everything as square as possible, because I have a tendency to have my left foot back and actually lean that way a little bit when I come up. Excuse me. So then second set, I basically do about half of what my working set's gonna be, except in this case, once I get up to where I'm doing over 270, I still just do the bar and then do 135. And then I go halfway between that and what my top set's gonna be until I get to over 315. Then I'll pretty much be like 135, 225, 315, and then whatever my working sets will be. But this time, so I did 20 sets, what am I thinking? I did 20 reps the first warm up, and now adding my knee sleeves on. I do the first one with nothing, and then put the knee sleeves on for the second set, and I do 135 for 10 reps. And you can see on there the little white weights I put on it. Those are 1 1/4 each, because those rubber coated plates that I have, I think they're 44.3 each. So they're a little bit light. And so essentially I'm adding an extra pound, making up for that, and it's like 136, but you know, it's all good. And happy Saturday to everyone. Let me know what you're doing today, what you're working out, if you've already worked out, what you did. Anybody hit any PRs? So you see I'm lining up on that jumper that's going across there. You can't really see it, or at least I can't from here, but it's there. So doing 10 reps here. Making sure I get just below parallel. Going a little bit faster this time. My hips are warming up. It's funny, I remember when I first started squatting, like, I guess about 3 years ago, I was always afraid of squatting because I've hurt my back so many times. Same with deadlifting, until I learned about sumo deadlifting, and it's helped a ton. But I think I started with like 100 pounds, maybe 95, and just have slowly worked up from there. And now I'm up to getting close to 300 without any problems. Although I will say I got over 315 before, and then I was ego lifting and not going down all the way, barely making it to parallel. So I dropped like 70 pounds off that. I think I went, or maybe more. I think I went all the way down to 205, and I just started making sure I got past parallel. I changed my stance a bit, or I didn't have any issues with hips or anything like that. I mean, yeah, it gets a little sore, but nothing crazy. And then just slowly work my way back up and get close to 300 again. So now going to 205 for 5. So I do 2 top heavy sets of 5, then I drop the weight some, try to get around 10, and then drop it again and just do as many as I can with the drop set. So I do 20 reps my first set, 10 reps my second, and then 5 since I'm not doing more than 5 on my heavy sets. And this is the weight that's halfway between that second set and the last one. Once it's pretty hot out there, and then my pants, as I start sweating, they start sticking to my legs and pulling when I'm trying to squat, so I kind of tuck them under when I get to these heavier weights because I don't want any extra resistance. And adding something to each of the sets. So the second set I put on my knee sleeves. This set I put on the belt. I don't really need the belt for this one, but I like to wear it for one set before I do my working sets, just to get the feel for it again. And this is, yeah, 205. So just a quick 5 reps, just easing into that heavy weight. See how square I am if I'm leaning to one side or the other here. It's a little too wide. I've been doing a narrow stance since I'm relearning my proper squat, and it's helped out a lot. A lot less pressure on my hip joints. It's kind of funny because it doesn't always look like I'm going below parallel from this angle, but I am. I need to put the camera a little lower. I think it's the angle. So quick, easy 5 reps, and then setting up for my first top set of 285 for 5. See if we fast forward a little bit here. There we go. And I also start adding in a heavy single on all my lifts because I'm training for powerlifting meet that's in 4 months and 10 days or 11 days. And so I want to get used to doing heavy, not a max, 1 rep max, but just heavier. So I add about 10% to whatever I'm doing, do a single. Just get used to that heavier weight, and it's been helping out, especially moving back down to this weight, because I'll do 285, then I'll do 315 for one and back to 285, and it makes that second to the 285 feel easier. My workout before this was pretty rough, so I'm like psyching myself out a bit, like just concentrate 1 rep at a time, don't try to speed through it. Think about each rep, tighten your waist, your core, back straight, straight down, straight up, try not to lean forward or anything like that. So one of the problems is when it gets heavy, a lot of times you'll squat down deep, but then lift your butt up and then almost do like a deadlift with your back or a good morning the rest of the way. That's a good way to get hurt. Let's see. Okay, deep enough, past parallel. 3. Gotta remind myself, go just as deep each time. Don't cut it short just because it's getting harder. See, I was leaning a little bit to the left on that one. The bar was tipping to the left some. My left. Yeah, that was hard. In this workout too, part of what helped out a lot with this, it's been so hot, like near 100 degrees, and a lot of times I like to work out after lunch, so I've been up for a while, especially with doing deadlifts or squats, because I just get really stiff when I wake up. My hips are stiff, and moving around by lunchtime, I feel pretty good. Eat a good meal, let it digest some, and then hit the gym. And it's so hot by then though, it's like almost 100 degrees out right now. And even with the big box fan I have out in my garage blowing on me, it's just like blowing hot air on me pretty much. And so what I did a couple hours before I started working out, I just opened our garage door, not the actual garage door, but to the house, and put my fan in the doorway so it's blowing cold air out of the house into the garage. And yeah, it's probably cost me extra on air conditioning, but it helped out. Excuse me. It was, I don't know, it was probably maybe 80 degrees in the garage with that, and I didn't start sweating a bunch until after I finished my squats, so that helped out. But here we got 315 on. I didn't feel like stripping plates and putting more 45s on, so I just added a bunch of 10s and 5s and 2.5s and got it up to 315. It's funny too, this set, you know, it's a heavier single, but it's easier than my sets of 5 because it's 1 rep, you know. You can push through one, but when you do the other ones and each one feels heavier and heavier and you know you gotta do more, it's pretty tough. Got my Coke water bottle with some creatine in here. Lining up on my jump rope. Let's make sure I hit past parallel here. Yep, got it. I think that's the second time I've done 315. I did it for a joke video I made. I was moving up pretty quickly. I went up about 30 pounds in my squat in 7 weeks, and it's starting to slow down. Like, I don't want to have my form break down, so I'm going to start, like, I'll probably stay on this weight for a couple weeks, then move it up 5 pounds, see how that feels, and if it's not too hard, maybe move it up another 5 and stay on that weight for 2 weeks and not just try to each time add weight. I'll probably just add reps and maybe get up to like 7 reps, and once I do that, then add some weight, because it is a lot of stress continually on the body. I'm deloading right now on vacation. I don't know how often you guys deload. For me, when I'm home, I like to push myself when I've got all my stuff and all my setup good to go. And when I end up being on these week-long trips, then that's my deload. I've hit the gym twice already, got 2 more sessions, and I'm just I'm still working out hard, but I'm not like pushing myself to the max. I'm doing less weight, really slow reps, making sure I feel it not hurt anything. My shoulder's been hurting a little bit, so just trying to let everything heal, maintenance volume. And so when I get back, hopefully I can get back into hitting it hard. So this is 285 again for another 5 reps. And if I feel like I can do a 6 rep on the first time I do this, a lot of times I won't, because I want to save a little bit for that heavy single, and then I'll do an extra rep when I come back down. But today it was a struggle just to get another 5. That 4th rep was hard. I had to take a breather. But I got it. And yeah, I'm just gonna stay on that weight until it starts to feel lighter and then move up, because I don't want to kill myself. But the funny thing is, that's not even the hardest one. The last set I do is the toughest. I do a drop set, which I wouldn't suggest doing if you don't have a safety rack, because you could get hurt. So now I drop about 10% off. So what were we at? 285. Now I'm doing, I believe, 254, because with my weights being off, it's not exact. So I want to make sure I didn't do 255, do 254. You know, 10% would be technically 28.5 pounds, but I just round up to 30 since we're pretty close to 300. Jump ahead here to the next set. I like to leave a lot of the setup stuff in there so folks do have questions. Then I can answer things, but if there's not, I'll just skip ahead a little bit. But if anyone's dropping in now to the video, let me know if you have any questions on anything. So this one is 254 for 10. I go through these a little quicker. Try to get the first 5 out of the way. Legs start burning by then when I get to like 6. Set. It's pretty fun once you get to the point where you're maxing out on stuff that used to be, or your down sets are what used to be your max. Let's see. Try to pause it at the bottom to make sure we're deep enough here. Yeah. Pause a little bit on the way up, but definitely past parallel. So that's my goal with all my squats, is make sure you get past parallel. I don't feel like you have to go all the way down. If you have the flexibility to do so and it doesn't hurt your back, you know, that's cool. But as far as powerlifting goes, you got to hit parallel. So going just below it's a safe bet. So that's how I'm trying to train for what I'm going to be doing. Plus, once I start doing that, even with way lighter weight and that little extra, you know, that much more distance that I got past parallel, it really lit my quads up, like all the way up to where it connects into your hips. And it definitely makes a big difference. So then one more set, is 230, and then you see I kind of set the weights up weird, it looks like, because I put all the weights on and then add the 25s on the outside because I'm going to drop 50 pounds off of it. So I put on 180 and then add the 25s. There's my little girl coming out to hang out with me. Getting silly. I have on my phone listed like how much the various combinations of my weights make the total weight, since a lot of them are off by half a pound, 0.7. One of them is like 1.4 pounds off. So I'm always checking my phone. I want to make sure I'm tracking accurately what my weights are, because it could be 4 pounds off. So I think I'm doing 255 and it's 251, and then I go to a gym and do 255 and it feels heavier than it should because I've actually been doing 4 pounds less. So trying to be as accurate as possible. This set is tough. If you're already tired from all the work you've done, I'm doing 11 reps at 230 and dropping off 50 pounds to 180 and doing another 10. My legs are burning by the end, and I don't wear my watch anymore when I work out because I don't really care. I mean, tracking calories doesn't really matter. I want to track my heart rate or just that I worked out. I could do that, but I only wear it when I swim so I can keep track of my laps. But when I would do sets like this before, or like doing lunges, max effort, like 15 reps, so you're doing 30 total because it's one leg after the other, my heart rate would be in the high 180s and I'd be dying. So that's 11 reps, and ideally you'd have someone there to strip it for you because you don't want to be resting a bunch. I think it's probably like 30 seconds between the end of one set and the start of the next. And my kids were, the baby ran out front. I was like, hey, go get your sister. It was probably like 45 seconds between, but it still burns a lot. I'll loosen my belt in between too, because I'm huffing and puffing. It makes it hard to breathe. Gotta remind myself not to sit there and catch my breath too much, because the whole point is to keep going. My main focus is squats, so I spend a lot of time on doing them, all the warm-ups, and then pretty much 5 sets. I don't really count the single as a set, but it's only 1 rep. It's not really contributing towards hypertrophy either. I guess strength a little bit, but 4 hard sets of lifting or squats and then move on to other stuff. Ideally, you want to get twice a week hitting your body part, everything, and then I shoot for 10 to 20 sets, things like legs, back, chest, the bigger muscles, and things like biceps, triceps, shoulders, the smaller muscles, maybe like 8 to 14 sets a week, split it into 2 sessions. So get 4 hard sets of squats, and I'm like huffing and puffing, dying here. And then I get 3 sets of leg extensions, leg curls, so that's like another 3 total since I'm working the front and back. Puts us at 7, and then I do some hip thrusts and stiff leg deadlifts, a couple hard sets. So it's like about 9 sets for this workout total. Well, I was definitely having a hard time breathing after that set. Got my creatine and water in the Coke bottle. Creatine on the desk. Taking off the knee sleeves, getting ready to go. So I'm gonna set up now for, pretty much do a circuit for the rest of my stuff. See, we're almost there. And I'm getting used to placement of everything. With this new platform, I had tape marks on the garage floor before, so I know where to put my bench and where to stand and different stuff, but I gotta kind of learning where to put things now, and I put those dumbbells there so my bench doesn't slide backwards while I'm doing my hip thrust. But I do calf raises, the hip thrust, leg extension, leg curl, and if you watched or saw my last one, I typically do biceps too with this during the circuit, but I actually did biceps at the gym the day before, so I didn't need to. I like doing preacher curls when they have those machines if I go to a gym, so I did that there and just cut it out of the lift today. But doing a warm-up, I'm do both legs at the same time, just body weight for 30 reps, and I just really focus here on getting good reps all the way down and then up, pause for a second, up, maybe not a whole second, but just actually get there and don't just drop down. A lot of people do their calf raises I see and just kind of like bounce through them real quick, but they're just like every other muscle. Go through the full range of motion, get a good squeeze, get the most out of it. And I've been really trying to focus on that the last few workouts, and both times my calves have knotted up like crazy, like later that night. Like this night when I was going to bed, all of a sudden my left calf just started knotting up, and I reached up and massaged it real quick and it went away, and I think I went and drank a Gatorade to get some extra sodium in, because the week before that it happened really bad at a friend's house, and like my right calf was as tight as it could be for like 7 minutes, and it hurt so bad, and it was sore for the next couple days. It's like a max effort contraction or isometric contraction for a long time. So the last time I did this, I think I did like 365 and then 405, and I kind of like, as I was saying what people do with calf raises, balancing through them real quick. So I dropped it down to 315 and making myself stop at the top before going back down, and it makes a big difference. Make the lighter weight feel heavy. And it worked out here. I think this has helped out a lot with my squat too, doing these hip thrusts. So we got that, and if you're at a gym, you know, you can't always do a big circuit like this where you're doing 5-6 different exercises. You just do what works, what makes sense for you. I'm at home, so I can do what I want, but when I go to a gym, I might split this up into like 3 things or 2 things. So I'll do 3 circuits of 2 exercises, like leg extension, leg curl back and forth, and it goes pretty quick. And then I'll switch to hip thrust and calf raises, and then whatever else. Or maybe do 3, like leg extension, leg curls, and calf raises. Just whatever's available, You gotta be creative and not too stuck on doing stuff a certain way. So we got leg extension, 130 pounds for 18 reps here. And you'll see I do 5 sets of calves, but you see only 3 of leg extensions, leg curls, 2 of hip thrusts, 2 of stiff-legged deadlifts, because I've already hit my quads, hamstrings, and everything a lot from the squats. So I'm only doing a few sets of these. I haven't done any calves yet, so I'm doing extra of that. So I get around 10 sets for the whole week between the 2 lifts, and then the stiff-legged deadlifts. I just started doing that. This is only the 2nd time in this workout that I did it, and I really liked it. Just getting lightweight and really focusing on keeping my back straight, and I'm really feeling the hamstrings and the glutes. So I'm gonna keep doing it for a while and see how it works out. It used to scare me because of my back, but it works out. But I don't do the stiff-legged deadlifts until after I finish the leg extensions and leg curls. And the leg curls here are 105 for 18. So basically, with the 5 sets of calf raises, I have 3 sets of leg extension and leg curls, and I do all those with the first 3 sets of calves, and then the last 2 sets of calves I start doing the deadlifts, or stiff-legged deadlifts. I wish my internet worked this well at home that I pay so much for. I haven't been seeing any lagging this time, which is nice. Leg curls are one of my favorite. They're not that comfortable on this thing at home, but doing lying leg curls like that's one of my favorite leg exercises. Just feeling the hamstrings burn. It's pretty good. So now doing calf raises, I do single leg. And it's like another, not necessarily warm-up set because it's hard at the end and my calves are burning, but 20 reps. So anywhere from 5 to 30 reps is like hypertrophy range. So getting some good volume in with the calves, that first set of 30. It's pretty easy, I could do more. So that's like a warm-up set, but then this one is getting tougher and I start adding weight after that. I like doing the machines, the calf raise machines where you're standing in it on your shoulders. Second favorite's probably doing it on a leg press, but I don't want to take up a leg press if there's a lot of people at the gym, and obviously I don't have that. I don't like doing the seated calf raises where it's on your knees and the weight and you lift up. I just don't feel like I can get a really good stretch and feel it as well. I don't really like doing them like this, but I've used to like hook on 150 pounds to my waist and do both legs at the same time, but it's a pain to put on my weight belt, try to get that much weight on. So I just started doing isometric single leg, and it takes longer, but I don't have to hold all that weight. See, like I was saying, try to get all the way up, get to the top, go all the way back down, touch the bottom, go from a dead stop back up without getting any recoil from bouncing through the reps. But I enjoy working out in the garage. It's fun for me. Ideally, if I didn't have cars in there, I probably would get like a leg press machine, get some cables in there, and I don't know what else. There's quite a few things I'd like to get. Probably a leg curl and leg extension machine, one that does both. So now hip thrust, second and last set of this, 345, so I added 10%, and I get 14 reps this time. Got that pad on the bar because you don't want to pressure jump. So you try to hit to the top, pause, and then go back down. And you're really squeezing those muscles to hold it there. And it does make a big difference. Yeah, it really burns at the end. Those 14 reps are tough. So hip thrusts are done. Now back to leg extensions and leg curls again. After I recover from that. I try to work it out so that I'm not hitting the same muscles necessarily right back to back. So, you know, the hip thrust, you're getting your butt through your glutes. Hamstrings are helping out with that too, so I don't want to do leg curls right after. So leg extensions first, help me work my quads, and then hamstrings are recovered from the hip thrust, turn over and do those, and then back to, what are they called? Calf raises. And I don't like, I think I used to always do calf raises last, but I started doing them first because I would get on the leg curl machine, and if I hadn't done any calf raises at all, my calves would start getting really tight and almost cramping up when I'm doing the leg curls. So if I get that one set in, that's why I like to do higher reps too first, that set of 30, it really warms them up, then I don't have any issues when I'm doing the leg curl. And leg extension, that was 140 for 15. We're now going to 120 for 13 in the leg curls. So if you ever doing leg curls and feel like your calves are getting really tight, do some calf raises first. And I've also heard people talk about, I've tried it too, I should probably do it more, but do a couple sets maybe of calves before you do your squats, and that really helps warm up your ankles and flexibility and help you with your depth on your squat. So that might be something worth trying. Get some light sets of 20 to 30 reps before doing your squats. Yeah, this isn't the most comfortable machine, but it works. It's pretty cheap. I think this bench was like 120 bucks. And all I use it for is leg curls, leg extensions, and then I'll set my dumbbells on it if I'm doing a dumbbell bench or dumbbell incline bench, and I'm using heavy dumbbells or something. I'll stick them on there, put the bench in front of the other one so I can just grab them, stand up, and sit down. And it's helpful for that. Hey, Lorenz V. So it's push-pull. So basically, just push-pull legs, rest over and over again. I wouldn't call myself a beginner when I started doing it, but it's fine for a beginner. I would just say, because the idea is you hit all your body parts twice a week. So you could do that doing a couple full body workouts a week, even 3 full body workouts a week, so your volume isn't as much on each of those. You could do upper and lower split twice a week for 4 workouts, or you could do push-pull legs and hit everything twice a week with 6 workouts. The big thing, it's fine for a beginner, but just ask yourself, is this something I can stick to? Because 6 days a week is a lot to do. I enjoy doing it. I've got my garage gym, so it's not a big deal. If you've got the time for it and you can do it, then yeah, it's great for you to do, because you have plenty of rest. You've got 3-4 days of rest by the time you hit that muscle group again, so you should be fine. And yeah, so if you can stick to it, it's great for a beginner. If you're not sure, but you are enthusiastic, maybe start with the upper lower and do a 4-day a week split. 2 days on, a couple days of rest, 2 days again. And if that works, then try out the 6 days or a 6-day split. I'm gonna put this in writing for other people too. And the upper lower split is nice too, because if something comes up, you can't go to the gym, it's not like, oh, it messes up my whole week. You can be like, okay, well, I can add another day of rest, or I can do it sooner than expected. And it doesn't have to be like lower, next day upper, then rest. You could do lower body, rest, upper body, rest, lower, upper, then rest, something like that. Or maybe the first workout of the week, you do lower, upper, back to back. You might be more sore, rest 2 days, then do lower, then rest a day, upper, rest a day, and then go back into it. So what do we do? Leg. So for the calf raises, I did 50 pounds, holding in one hand for 10 reps. Then leg extension, 115 for 18. So I lighten the weight a little bit now and just try to get higher reps for the last set. And this is 100 pounds now for 17 reps. But for me, I don't always do push-pull legs. I'm at home, that's what I do. Sometimes I might do an upper lower depending on how much time I have before I have to go out of town for work. I might do legs, push-pull, rest, and then legs, and then do an upper body push and pull with not as much volume, because I'm doing both and it's harder on you because it takes a lot of time to get through everything. And then right now I'm on it depends on what's available at the gyms I have. I did a good leg workout the other day, and then the day before that I did an upper body, so I did push and pull together. Let's see, last 2 sets of calves now, I got 80 pounds for 7 reps, But I did, so I don't do as much of the shoulders. I just focus on chest and back, mainly when I do an upper, push and pull together. I think I did like a cable bench press type of thing, supersetted with lat pull downs. And then I did some cable rows, like single armed, supersetted with a chest press machine. And then I did some like, what are they called? Like the pec deck flies, and then reverse shoulders. And then I did a few sets of curls and tricep press downs, and that was it. Yeah, man, whatever questions you have, that's what I'm here for. This is, now I'm adding the stiff-legged deadlift, so this is 65 pounds for 15 reps. I guess this is deficit stiff leg deadlifts. I'm trying to really get a good stretch since I have those larger weights and it touches the ground pretty fast. You want to try to keep your back as straight as possible. My lower back is staying straight. My upper back, I'm letting my shoulders down a little bit to get the weight lower. But as long as you're not feeling any pain, and really focus each time, like squeeze your butt and your hamstrings as you're pulling up, so it doesn't stress your lower back as much. And really trying to, even though I'm stretched like this, try to pull your shoulders back and stand up straight as you come back up. This is not something I'm trying to do a bunch of heavy weight on right off the bat. I want to use lightweight, make sure I really feel it so I don't injure anything, because lower back injuries suck. Takes out squats, takes out deadlifts, depending on how bad it is, possibly bench press too. I'll just have to go to the gym and do some machines for those various body parts. Yeah, man, let me know whatever question you have. Here to help you out. But 65 for 15 reps on this first set. And you can see my fan there in the doorway, blowing the cold air from the house out. I'm not sweating nearly as much as I normally do. This is last set of calf raises. It's a drop set, so 70 pounds this time. I drop the weight some. I get 8 reps, and then I just do no weight, so 0 for another 8 reps. Can you do rowing instead of lat pull down? Yeah, well, ideally you want to do both. When I do back days, I want to do at least one vertical pulling movement and one horizontal pulling. The reason being, the vertical pulling up to down, vertical, is essentially that helps with the width of your back, and then the horizontal pulling helps with the thickness of your back. So you want to have a combination of wide and thick. So, and there's all kinds of options too. Like when I'm at home, I typically do dumbbell rows, and then I also have my lat pull down that I can do. And I have different attachments. Sometimes I'll do it this way, a lat pull down. Sometimes I'll do it out like this, wider. Just depends. You can switch it up. And then when I'm at a gym, I like to do the cable row. So grabbing on, I've got an attachment that's like this or this kind, and pull it into your waist like that. And I like to get like 4 working sets of each of those when I'm at the gym, plus my deadlifts, and that's about it for back, aside from like some shoulder stuff and whatnot. So this is 75 pounds this time for 15 reps, and this is the last exercise. It's something I started doing. I used to do lat pull downs a lot, and I still do when it's available, but now whenever I'm at a gym with an assisted pull-up machine, I really like doing those. Because I can get on and do pull-ups, but I'm pulling up 190 pounds. That's a lot of weight. I don't even do that much on the lat pull down. I get up to like 140, maybe 150. So I get on that assisted chin-up machine and take half my weight off, warm up with that, And then I get down to where it's like 50 pounds, so essentially like a lat pull down. I'm doing around 140 pounds of work. And pull all the way up and squeeze it there, and then let myself all the way back down, and then really stretch it, because you can only stretch so far in a lat pull down, and then pull up, and it makes a huge difference. If the cable towers are full, you can always try doing dumbbell rows or barbell rows. And you can use a Smith machine too for barbell rows, so it's on a track, and when you get tired you can just twist your wrists and rack it and you're done. So that's the end of that workout. Pretty much now is me just cleaning up my gym for the next 5 minutes. So whatever other questions you have, I'm sit here and answer it. And but that's the leg workout. It's nothing crazy, pretty much just, you know, focusing on squash and doing some accessory work, and that's about it. And like I said, I normally do biceps too with legs. It just didn't work out this time because, like I was saying, adapt to what you're doing. I was at a gym. I like doing preacher curls. They had it, and I did a lot of sets of that, and my arms were already sore from that. Yeah, I mean, that definitely stinks when cable towers are always full. But you can always ask people if you can work in with them too. And if someone says no, then they're just being a jerk. It is one of the nice things about working out at home is I can do whatever I want when I want. Unless, of course, my kids start fighting and I gotta go take care of that, but it doesn't happen too often. I'll just make them come sit with me when that happens. But yeah, with the garage gym, it does take a while to put everything away, so that is a downside. When I finish it, the gym near my house, I can just, sorry, I got distracted. I can pretty much just, you know, walk out the door. Well, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner, you know, you can still do dumbbell rows or barbell rows, just use light weight until you get your technique good. It's the same with every exercise, just use light weight until you can feel the muscle, know what you're doing. Like if you're doing rows, just get a 20-pound weight. You don't have to do a lot. Get on a bench, keep your back straight. I mean, you can do it against the rack, but you don't want to be on the dumbbell rack covering up. But you get on a bench, keep your back straight, and pull your elbow up. Just think about moving your elbow up and back towards your waist rather than pulling like this. You're not pulling it towards you, you're pulling the weight to your waist like that. And you can do that even now. I can feel my lat getting tight. And you do that, pause, let it back down, and get used to doing that with light weight until you know you can do it consistently, and then boom, you start adding more weight each time. Yeah, and the same with barbell rows. Get lightweight, get just a bar or even less. You know, they've got like, a lot of gyms have bars that are 10 pounds, 15 pounds. Keep your back straight, pull it up into your waist so that you feel your lats. Or you can even lay on a bench, an incline bench like this with dumbbells, and pull them both up at the same time. And you can't really mess that up. You just pull it towards your waist, and you should feel your lats pretty good. Yeah, so, you know, if you lay on an incline bench like that, you can't really cheat because you're just laying there, and you just use light weights initially. Pull them up towards your waist here, let them back down. Up towards your waist, pause, feel your lats contract, then you're good to go. That is it. That's the whole workout. So that's it for this one. Hope that helps, Lorenz. And at Camber Fitness on Instagram. I got lots of videos on the channel for y'all to check out. And you can check out my back day as well to see what I do. And yeah, that's about it. So I will see y'all in the next one.